In this video, I will be demonstrating how to make these unique pens made from a material called Spectraply and an inexpensive ink refill that goes inside. People really love these things. I think they look kind of goofy, but secretaries and folks that don't want to lose their pens like these because they can set them out and people will not walk away with them. So first of all, I want to show you the materials you're going to need. This is a 5" by 3/4 by 3/4 Spectraply blank of wood. You can see it has varied colors of plies. This is another one with a different pattern of plies. Also, you'll need a 1/8 inch drill bit that is 6 inches long. You can get these at Ace Hardware. And they also sell at Ace Hardware these little aluminum bushings that are 1/8 inch and they slide over that drill bit. The type of pen you will need is just an inexpensive crystal Bic pen. We use that ink for our refill in there. And if you want to put a really nice shiny finish on, this Stick-Fast Instant CA wood finish thin glue is just great for this, and I like to use the activator to keep things moving along. So we'll go ahead and start through the instructions of how to make these pens. They're really easy and fun to make and are pretty popular when they're finished. Well, step one is we're going to take and mark a center point on this square as nearly as we can eyeball it. Now we got our center point. We're going to go over and drill into this material. Actually, we can drill on a drill press or we can drill on the lathe itself. So I'm going to start by taking my drill chuck and putting it into my lathe, tightening it in there, and then I'm going to take my 1/8 inch drill bit, put it in the chuck, and when I put it into the chuck, I want to make sure I don't punch through the back side of this. So I'm going to put it in there and you can see I'm almost going to go all the way through this. So I'll go ahead and tighten that right in place. And when I get that good and tight, I want to double check up against the bushing and you can see I'm not going all the way through. I'm then going to take and turn it on at a low speed. And while this is at a low speed, I'm going to take it and drill. And I'm going to drill. And this is the hard part. You have to hold it very horizontal and keep pulling it out so you can have the chips come out. Now I don't want to run you through this entire procedure. It takes a little while to do. So I'll go ahead and turn off the camera until I get this all the way in. Now that we have our wood drilled all the way in, we're going to go ahead and bring the tailstock in, centering it as best we can, and tightening it down and locking it in. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut this into a cylinder and set it at a fairly high speed, somewhere around 1200 RPMs would be fine. You can cut these in a myriad of different designs, but I like kind of to have one that shows what I call the eyeballs along the ends. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do is set this pen here, and on this yellow surface I'll put a line right here that will correspond to this area where I will dive down in, and then I'm going to put a mark at every eyeball. It's about every 1/2 inch, it looks like, going all the way across. Now when I do that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it on, and then I can make those marks a little bit better. As you know, you can do it while it's spinning. Now you can see the spinning, and it's spinning with the marks placed in there. I'll turn this off so maybe you can hear me a little bit better. And then this is where I begin to take the fingernail gouge, and I'll start here at this first line and I'll dive down almost to the bushing because that's where the pinpoint's going to be. And then each one of these lines indicates the peak, and what I'll do is dive down halfway into the valley from both sides as I go across. So I'll go ahead and do that now, and I'll give you a look when we're done here. Now you can see we've got those eyeballs looking good there. I'm pretty consistent on my valleys and hills going across, and I'll be putting a tail on this in a little bit. But I think really I'm pretty happy with the shape right now. I can go to my sandpaper and begin doing some sanding. I'll take it from about 120 all the way down to 600, and I'm going to turn on a vacuum system when I do that. I don't know what kind of dye they use in here, so I have a face mask on right now. I don't want to breathe any of this stuff, whatever it is, into my lungs. So I'll be sanding with a face mask. Now to put a finish coat on this, I want you to take a look at a few of the things I have in place. I have a piece of paper down below so none of my super glue splatters on my machine. I have a vacuum system in the back, and this vacuum system pulls out a lot of the fumes. I don't want to breathe those in. And I have a paper towel folded, and you'll notice I use these two corners for the super glue, these two corners for the accelerant. And then I have a piece of, 2000 sandpaper that I knocked this down with. I'm going to do 3 or 4 rotations of what you're going to see here. I'll only show you one. So I'm going to take the super glue, put it on the towel and wipe it across, adding super glue, followed by the accelerant going across, followed by the sandpaper, dusting it off and repeating that until I'm satisfied with the gleam that I get from this surface. Remember, what you're trying to do is put a layer of clear coat over it, and to make it sparkle, it needs to be thick enough for the light to penetrate the clear layer and then bounce off and hit the top of the clear layer and bounce back down and shoot off again in a different direction. That's where we get sparkle. So let's take a look at this. Turn it on at a slow speed. I'm running at around 775 right now. Put my super glue on. Now we'll go with the accelerant. That's our first coat. You'll notice also I have a rubber glove because sometimes that super glue penetrates the paper towel and it would stick to my skin and it'd be very difficult to get it off. I'm getting a lot of odor off of this super glue, so I'm going to turn on my fan now and I'll go ahead and put additional coats on off camera. You can see I'm getting some really nice shine off of this right now with that super glue finish. But what I'm going to do, and you don't have to do this, but I'm going to hit it one more time with a 2000 sandpaper, and then after that I'm going to add some of this material, Johnson's paste wax, and then buff it another time at high speed. Let's take a look at see what that does. You can see here I've backed off the tailstock and I'm going to do a little sanding on the end, and finish it off with super glue also. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull the pen off of the drill mandrel. Now to retrieve my ink refill, I take my Bic pen and put it on a solid surface and just tap it gently, shattering this clear plastic. And then I can go ahead and just pop this right out. Generally it looks like here I left a little bit. Things like to wait until you're on camera to disobey. Let's give it another little smack there and take this out. Now if you take a look at the end of this, I'll try and get it closer to the camera. You'll notice that this is a little bit under 1/8 and will fit into the pen. Here it's a little bit thicker, so I'm going to reach for another drill bit just for this tip to sit nicely into the pen with. The drill bit you see here is 5/32, and I'm only going to take it in about 1/4 of an inch. So I'll turn it on a low speed, set it right in there. It kind of pulls in, you got to be careful. I'll go in one more time. Now let's see if our pen can assemble properly. So we'll go ahead and take the refill and slide it right down in here. You can see it fits nice and snug. And then I can take this and give it a test run. And you can see right there we have a nice pen, finished product. Sometimes I will take a 1/16 inch drill bit and go right in the back here to make a breather hole so air pressure will allow the ink to come out properly. Good luck with you.